In this episode, we're going to show you why we chose this roof rack, and we're going to show you all the details of how we installed it.
Nice rack.
Thank you.
We went with a full-length, no-drill rack from Southern Style Offroad. And here's why. No drilling holes through the roof like other racks. Now, I don't care how careful you are at sealing them back up, drilling a hole through the roof where holes were never intended to be is never a good idea. Odds are, eventually, it's gonna leak. This rack is engineered in such a way that this front load-bearing leg is more than enough to make it super stable and secure.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, we like this style where we have the side rails and it sits low to the roof.
It just looks like it belongs here.
A really cool feature built into the rack are these mounting points for work lights, 2 on each side. Once we figure out what type of light would suit our needs best, you'll be the first to know.
Build quality. We've long been huge fans of Southern Style Offroad's attention to detail and use of high quality materials.
You know, we could go on and on about the great qualities of this rack, or we could show them how we installed it.
Let's show them.
This is Wanderlost Overland. Yay! All right, throw that away. This is how it came shipped. All the parts are here. There's no scratches, no damage of any kind. Great job on packaging. Here are the side rails, the front fairing, crossbars, and we got ours in the optional black powder coating. Normally they just come bare aluminum. Speaking of powder coating, this is really nice, thick, slightly textured. We're really impressed by it, and I think it's going to hold up really nice. Here we have a bunch of brackets and stuff, bolts for the crossbars. Again, we got these in the optional black coating, and there's more bolts. These are actually the ones that help bolt it to the roof. Some rubber for the bottom of the wind fairing, some silicone. They even give you some T-nuts that run in the channels of your crossbar so you can bolt stuff down. This is a piece of clear vinyl they send along. This goes down on the paint at the very front of the roof line. That's going to protect our paint from the wind fairing, any kind of chafing or scratching. First thing we need to do is get this worthless thing off. To do that, we first have to take these plastic covers off. We're going to protect the paint here with a little bit of masking tape. Now there's little clips that hold this on, a couple here, one here, and a couple on the back side. To get those to release, we're going to take a real thin putty knife and slip it in here, and then try to pry up and try to pull it out a little bit to release those clips if we can. There's one back here. Come on. This isn't the easiest thing to do, but they do release. And then it helps if you just pull this up and then kind of twist it that way. And that'll release the ones at the back side. And there it is. Next, these bolts come out, 2 at each corner. Now be careful pressing down on these white bushings. I don't know if it's possible or not, but it would really suck if these got pushed down into the headliner. Now we take the supplied silicone and we make a nice bead around these plastic things. Next, we take these spacers and we put them down on top of those bushings. There is a tight fit, so by spinning this spacer, it will go down on there a little bit easier. There we go. Give it a little twist to make sure that silicone is distributed nice. There we go. Now we'll put this piece of clear vinyl on the roof. Of course, we wash the roof really good. There's nothing on there, no bugs, no bug juice, no nothing. Now these front legs are engineered to apply a little downward pressure on the roof for rigidity. And these are the main brackets. Again, we're keeping all the bolts loose until we're all done. This is a corner bracket that's going to hold this front fairing onto the side rails. This piece of weather stripping goes at the bottom of our front fairing. Now there's two ways we could assemble this. One way is to do it on the floor of the garage, put everything together, leave the bolts a little loose, and then lift the whole thing up and onto the roof. Now it's really not that heavy, but it's awkward, especially if you only have two people and one of you is a little height challenged. So we're going to be doing it the traditional way, assembling it in place. So now we can start putting it together, starting with the side rails. All right, now it's starting to look like a roof rack. Put this fairing on the front now. And this is one of the reasons why we left all these bolts loose, because this would be a bear to put on. It'd be impossible to put on if these bolts weren't loose where we could move things around. So, do you have the bolts? I gotta get some bolts. So now we can start putting the crossbars on. Now you notice that we left this one out because that is right over our main mounting bolts, and we need to get to those later. Now this narrow crossbar goes all the way in the back here to clear the satellite antenna. And one mistake we made was we did not get enough crossbars. It comes standard with this amount of crossbars, I think because of sunroofs, to clear sunroofs, and you have to order the extra ones separately, which we should have done. Yeah, we should have done that because we need all of them. Well, time to get back in touch with Southern Style. Now we have the rack perfectly centered on the roof. We can tighten everything down. Okay, now that everything is all tightened up, I'm going to take out each one of these 8 main mounting bolts, one at a time. Then I'm going to put a little drop of blue Loctite on the bottom down here, and then take more of our silicone and coat the top of this really good. All the threads, the shank, everything. Then we just put it back in and twist it down. Make sure that silicone gets distributed good. Then we torque them down. This is to the factory specs. Whoops. There we go. All right, 7 more to go. To mount stuff on the rack, Southern Style gives us a bunch of these little, little nut inserts that go inside the rail, inside these slots. All we have right now to mount is a tarp off the back. So we have some stainless steel eye bolts. We're going to use those things that Southern Style gave us. And a nut, you can see that. And in order to put these in, all you have to do is take a crossbar and pull it up away from the side rail and just, it'll go, trust me. Come on, come on. Get it straight. And there you go. Just like that. Then just tighten it down. And you can do them up or sideways or however you need to configure them.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, we're not quite sure what we're going to put up here yet. Maybe some low profile plastic cases.
Or a rooftop tent.
It is definitely strong enough to hold one of those. For updates on what and how we mount stuff up here, follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of the next upload of our videos. And tell me I'm pretty and buy me tacos.